Blue's Life series, episode 16, Searching. Last time on Blue's Life series, Carl searched for Marcel. Pastor Stone visited Lou and offered the church's help. Salvatore requested Blue to visit a couple of convalescents. Blue meditated, trying to release his fears and concentrate on the good things in his life. Still, the images of that alien leaning over him and being in that chamber loomed in his mind. Consciously, he tried to release them from his mind. He brought forth images of Geppettie, the sea, but again images of the alien invaded his mind. Salvatore and Blue visited the home of Horatio Nebbia and Mervyn Selmayr, who were tended to by Sedelia Medrat and Miriam Battleaxe. They discussed the events that led to Horatio and Mervyn needing care. Blue relayed his own experiences, and Sedelia expressed her admiration at how well Blue was doing. Blue chatted with Mervyn Selmayr, who was more prone to sitting in a wheelchair. He loved to paint and found it soothed and relaxed him. Blue expressed his own prowess with painting, so they discussed methods of painting to painting styles. The two spoke of great artists they both revered. Salvatore asked questions concerning their hobby and even offered to take Mervyn to an art museum if he would like. Mervyn liked the idea, but feared leaving the house. Peeler and Shira visited Lou just to see the babies. They were a little distraught because the babies had the werewolf gene. In about half of them, it was dormant, but it wasn't 6 a.m.'s desire to have werewolves in the bloodline. What would 6 a.m. do? They chatted with Lou about the babies, Nitsa, and what he felt had happened. They suggested that he was probably abducted in his sleep and didn't remember the event. He disagreed and stared at them in puzzlement. Sal decided to relay to Carl what he had witnessed at the old quarter inn between Christopher and Nitsa. Christopher had been pushing for Nitsa to provide support and help for Lou and the babies, but Nitsa had been distant concerning the suggestion. Carl listened. He wished he could speak with Nitsa, but her disappearance was too convenient. Geppettie and Blue had breakfast, though Geppettie had taken to drinking too much, so it was a fog and a blur for her. She continued to drink after Blue left the table to do chores. Later, Salvatore stopped by and found a very inebriated Geppettie. He watched her stumble and sway, then she fell before he realized it was happening. He went to find Blue, and together they put her to bed. It was then he discussed with Blue about the seriousness of Geppetti's behavior. She needs you to be strong for her. Camping outside has taken its toll. It is, as you have said, she is a delicate flower. Events affect her stronger, emotionally, more than most. After Salvatore left, Blue dragged in a chair and sat with Geppettie. He had been so preoccupied with his fears that he forgot that the one he loved the most was suffering. He felt ashamed that he had been so selfish. She needed him as much as he needed her, and he vowed that he would spend more time inside in spite of his fears. Peeler came to visit Blue. She wanted to ask questions about his abduction. It was incredible that he was alive, though she knew the reason. It was her hope that he may have remembered things that he hadn't before. After telling him she was a private eye investigating for families of the abductees, she asked him to share his tale. Blue was a bit nervous and choked a few times, but he managed to tell her what he could remember. She found it interesting that he remembered more details than most abductees, though she wondered if that was due to Shira's intervention. Lou pondered Pastor Stone's words and took the Bible that Stone had left and began to read. The passages Stone had suggested were Deuteronomy 31, 6 and 8. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them, for the Lord thy God, He it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. And the Lord, He it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. Joshua 1:9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Psalms 121, 1 and 2. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. John 14:7. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also, and from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, forasmuch as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort, who comfort us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble, by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God. 2 Corinthians 4:17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Salvatore went to check the community board and to post an upcoming event. He was involved with the community outreach for the poor and needy and often volunteered at soup kitchens. One particular community outreach he had to deal with Pastor Stone. They didn't see eye to eye on doctrine and often found themselves in a heated argument concerning the interpretation of Scripture. He met with Pastor Stone to discuss planning an event. They would need to prepare food. Pastor Stone didn't approve of Salvatore's recipe and was adamant about how it should be made. He had to walk out and allow Stone to take over the cooking. The man was so obstinate. He also wanted to tell Stone about Geppettie. The woman thought a great deal of him, and if someone could reach her, it might just be Stone. Salvatore needed to bring himself back to a sense of peace, so he meditated. There didn't seem to be anyone who could raise his ire like Pastor Stone. He practiced his breathing and relaxed while his mind began to plan events that needed tending to. Pastor Stone visited with Blue and Geppettie, discussing the couple's own struggles with the abduction. He recommended Bible passages for both, though he bristled a little when Blue spoke about Salvatore. He said nothing and listened to Blue talk about meditating daily and fishing as ways to alleviate his stress. It is good that you have found some coping methods. Geppettie feels isolated. Tell me, how are you dealing with your fear of indoors? Blue looked ashamed. I don't want to isolate you, he said to Geppettie. I love you more than I can ever express. It is just when I come inside, all I can think of is that alien and being stuck in a small chamber without the ability to move for hours. Oh, Blue, Geppettie exclaimed. It must have been horrible. I guess I'm grieving because I feel I've lost a way of life and the husband I knew. He thought about what he had planned before the event. The husband you knew. It is better that she didn't know and that the event was past. I'm sorry. I feel I'm the same person, and you have seemed like a rock through all of this. I should have paid more attention. Perhaps we should take a vacation. Maybe go to Salvadorado again, like we did on our honeymoon. Geppettie blinked. I like the idea. There are things at work I can't leave right now, but I like the idea. After Stone left, Geppettie turned to the Bible and read the passages he suggested. Finally, my brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Philippians 4:8. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. Ephesians 6:10-18. Isaiah 26:3. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. When she was finished reading, she knelt down and cried out to God. Help me, Lord. I am a poor wretch who has lost her way. Turning to drink isn't the answer. I know that, but I need your help to get through this. She felt a sense of peace envelop her. Her mind recited the scriptures she had just read. Salvatore had a strange visitor. Caleb came by to discuss the abduction events. I know that you have knowledge of our kind and our needs. Salvatore listened to Caleb. I'm concerned about the abductions. Sims are very frightened about these alien serial killers. It has made things difficult and awkward for our kind. And Vlad seems to be obsessed with this blue fellow. He tasted the blood, and it was very strange. It seems he is determined to find out who, what, and where on his own. I was wondering if you knew anything that might help alleviate the situation.
Oh, if I knew how to stop murders, I would have already made the suggestion to Agents Carl and Marcel.
You know Marcel is missing.
No, oh dear, this is horrific news. I should speak with Carl and provide him some comfort at least.
That might be a good thing. He is very distraught. I have kept a distant, watchful eye on that household. He seems to think he can take the fight to the aliens, but I don't know what he thinks one man will do against a whole race on their own planet.
Salvatore shook his head. No, but I understand his frustration.
Salvatore visited Shira. He suspected she knew more than what she let on. He complimented her on her lovely home and how nicely decorated it was. She seemed a little caught off guard, but thanked him. He asked about Nitsa and about Lou and her involvement. She seemed surprised and gave some flimsy excuses about Lou's predicament. He watched her carefully. How long have you known Nitsa? Shira thought for a moment. She had known Nitsa a long time, but what would be the best answer?
Oh, I don't know. We met on one of the hiking trails and found we had a great deal in common. After that, we had some outings together. You're telling me you have no idea about your friend? Where she might be? Why is there so much interest in Nitsa? She is just a young woman trying to make it in a bad economic environment. Perhaps.
He could tell that she wasn't willing to divulge any information about her friend, and he wasn't someone to push, so he left. Pastor Stone sat down to study the Bible and reflect on recent events. God, grant me the wisdom to help these people in need, he prayed to himself. And Jehovah will guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in dry places, and make strong thy bones. And thou shalt be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters fail not. Isaiah 58:11. Peeler, Kelme, and Shira had a conference concerning events. Peeler relayed information she had uncovered concerning the abductions. Shira admitted she hadn't made it to the coroners yet, though she had received visits from Carl, Salvatore, and Pastor Stone. Carl wanted to know about her relationship with Nitsa, and she took the opportunity to use her alien wiles on him to find out any information he had uncovered. Apparently, his brother was missing after speaking with the Berry family. Peeler said, Yes, I spoke with them. Blue told me his version of events. He doesn't remember you, but he remembers a great deal of what that woman did to him. He was so frightened, and who could blame him after what was done? I thought perhaps he would divulge some detail that would help us locate these 6 a.m.ers, but no. He mentioned that Marcel was investigating and had stopped to ask questions, but he didn't know if there were any leads Marcel was following up. It is frustrating, Kelme spoke. Indeed, though the young man I spoke to wasn't taken to any ship,
He was here on SimWorld, but he was so frightened he didn't remember where he had run away from.
Shira bit her lip.
We just have to keep looking.
What do you think they'll do to Nitsa? Kelme asked. Shira said,
I don't know. At worst, they will remove her from her position and may restrict not only her movements on the homeworld, but also her job choices. At best, she will just lose her current job. What I don't like is that I will have to give an account of events and most likely speak at her hearing. I hate stating that she fraternized with the locals and jeopardized our investigation. Her involvement with Lou has caused me quite a problem with trying to explain events away and suggest other alternative solutions. Lou, that is another issue I'm concerned with. The babies have werewolf genes. How will that affect our continuance as a species? I've seen werewolves become feral. It is a frightening sight to behold.
Indeed, Peter agreed. But 6 babies, that is remarkable. I'm certain they'll want to study Nitsa, and they may want to further use her in fertility development.
We knew that was a possibility from her genetic ancestral tree, though we have never seen it actually happen. She is certainly unique.
Peeler made her report concerning events from her point of view. It was the responsibility of each team member to do so, and she wondered how her report would reflect on Shira. She had worked with her for a long time and really didn't relish harming her career in any way. It was up to 6AM's own governmental agency to decide how to proceed. Vlad went to visit Blue after finding out he was on Solani. He didn't understand his affection for the young man, but he cared what happened to him. Blue told him about the house and bragged on the work Geppettie had put into remodeling it to make it more bearable for him to enter. The windows helped him feel less claustrophobic, and he was finding he could spend a little more time indoors than before. It was progress, even if slow progress. Vlad had learned enough to know that Shira was somehow at the center of this mess, so he went to visit her. When he arrived, he found she was being sucked up into an alien ship. Vlad had thought she herself was an alien, but seeing the event, he pondered. What was going on? Why did the aliens want her? Was she just an innocent sim caught in the crux of events? Didn't they usually abduct males? He stood thinking for a while, then decided to visit Izakaya Apai Bar. Here he spoke with various patrons. He listened to their tales of daily lives and carefully inserted words concerning Shira. Some didn't even know her, but some said she frequented the hiking trails. She seemed so nice, a woman stated. I lost my balance and she helped me up. She works for some government agency or something. Always working nights, though. I asked her once what she did, but she was rather vague. I joked that she must be a secret agent, and we both laughed. Vlad smiled. Thank you, he thought to himself. Perhaps she is, but do they work at night? She certainly isn't a janitor. She dresses too nice for that. No, I think she might be a function planner or something like that. Do they work at night? Vlad asked. I hadn't really thought about it. I assumed she went to the functions she planned, but she would have to do her planning during the day, wouldn't she? Maybe she does, but does it from home, she shrugged. Or maybe she is a spy. He planted the seed. Perhaps she was both a spy for Sim government and the aliens. But why would the aliens abduct her? It was something worth pondering. Will the Sims murderers be caught? Keep watching Blue's Life series.